Aloka is the dog that always give you distractions. Okay, so let him stay up here, listen and try to be mindful. As the walk of peace is all about mindfulness. And I still remember back then in 2022 and 2022, we took a pilgrimage here from Kolkata airport all the way to Bulgaria and then walked through this way and reached here 2023. During that time was very cold during the winter season. And we get to pay homage to the Buddha and then went inside the Shana to pay homage to the sacred sites of our Lord Buddha. And I, along with over 100 monks from Thailand, from Vietnam. And then after that, I carry on this walk for peace in USA and then Sri Lanka. And now we are here in India to visit and have meetings. And of course, we want Aloka to be back here to this home, this country. And from there, we'll continue our journey of walk for peace. As I mentioned earlier, when our assistant took Aloka that way, and most of us got distracted. Most of us got distracted because of Aloka. And may I ask you all, what's the reason for us to be distracted? While we are here in front of the Buddha statue, in front of all the venerable monks and nuns, and listening to the sharing of peace talk, I would like to listen to your feedback. What is the reason for us being distracted?
It's a new dog. Distraction.
Distraction? Distraction.
It's a new dog.
It's a cute dog. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? I would like to listen to your feedback. This is an open forum, so that's because of love and compassion within every human. That is why. Okay? What else? Okay, so I get the point. I get the point all of you talking about, because he's a 4 legs. It's not human being, but he could walk that long and he could do all that things, and he brought a lot of joy to a lot of people, right? And our love and compassion, as you mentioned, you are right. Nothing wrong with all those, but we missed the whole point. What is that? Mindfulness. Because of lack of mindfulness, because of unmindful, we did what we did earlier, right? If we are mindful enough to know the agenda, if we're mindful enough to know what is going on right now at this moment, here and now, then our Aloka shouldn't be the object, shouldn't be the object for us to catch on. Because right now, in this present moment, is the talk, the peace talk, which is I'm standing here right now. Aloka is just a side object. It's not the main object. But then when Aloka appeared, and we switched right to Aloka and forgot about me totally, because of sidetrack, just like we are meditating, and then when thought pop up, and then because of unmindful, we follow that thought into the end of the thought, and we forgot about our breathing, which is the breathing is what we are doing, but we forgot about it. We follow something else instead of the breathing. So that is why, as I said, because of unmindful, that is why, that is the reason why, and that is the key, that is the reason why we are suffering as well. Because of unmindful, we live with unwholesome thoughts. Because of unmindful, we always say speech with unmindful words, unwholesome words. And because of unmindful, we always commit into bad, unwholesome action. That causes us to be swimming in this samsara life after life. While we already reborn as a human being in this lifetime under the teaching of our Uttama Buddha, which is the fourth Buddha in this world, we already passed through three Buddha in the past. But we still diving deep into this samsara Buddha after Buddha time. And so how many more Buddha are we willing to dive in like this in this samsara? So our point is, mindfulness is the key for us to be liberated, to get out of all this suffering, to end all this suffering, to attain the blissfulness of Nibbana. And in front of you are, as a Buddhist and non-Buddhist, but when you come to the Buddha, when you bow down in front of the Buddha statue, and especially the sacred sites and the Buddha relics, most of us always pray, may I always be well, be happy, and be peaceful. May my family always be, have prosperity and all those things. And at the end, may I attain the blissfulness of Nibbana. That is what we've been doing and praying almost our whole life. But it's just a prayer. It's just a wish. How do we fulfill that wish? We didn't do it. We didn't do it to fulfill the wish, to support that vow. We just bow down and offer flowers, food, and offer things to the venerable monks and so on. And then make a wish. At the end, we forgot everything else. That is why we suffer. That is why I always say, even if we come to the temple, we still suffer. We suffer it at our own place, workplace, and then when we feel so much depression, we find the temple to seek for peace. And then when we come to the temple, we still suffer because of asking. Asking for more things. I'm asking for, asking for health, asking for a job, asking for this and that, and Nibbana. We are always asking for things, but we are not doing anything to support that wish. That is why we suffer. Why do we suffer? Because when we ask something and we cannot get it, we suffer. That is the Buddha teachings. We understood that way, but we still doing that every single time. So we should ask ourselves, what can we do to end suffering? What can we do to have a peaceful day? What can we do to have a peaceful life? And die at peace. The answer is, through mindfulness, we practice. If we are mindful enough, we will not react to those things happen to our life. If we are mindful enough, we will not do anything harm to ourselves and the others. So just reason earlier, because I want to bring this up about Aloka, is because I have seen this everywhere we go, that when Aloka appear, everybody just got distracted. And if we cannot live with mindfulness in this present moment, here and now, Our whole life's gonna be like that. So how do we practice that way? Mindfulness is just through your nostril, through your breath. If you be able to breathe in and breathe out, because we are breathing every second to keep us alive, while we are thinking so much, thinking of us. It means that we are not mindful with our own breath. Wow, this breath will keep us alive. Because it's our breath. Just breathe. The way of habit. No. Awareness to each and every breath going in and out. To be able to keep that simple. You will have a peaceful moment. If you have a peaceful moment, you will have an hour of peace. If you have 1 day of peace, you will have 1, 2, 3, and 4 days and 1 month of peace. In order for us to end all kind of suffering till Nibbana, we have to end suffering without peace. Life without breath give us happy, peace. If we can't do this, then so our message is very simple. When we do anything in our hate life, knowing that we are breathing in, we breathe out, knowing that we breathe it out. Thought arise, knowing that we have it up in that heart. Back to your breathing. You hear any type of noise, any type of sound, observe that sound, acknowledge that sound back. If you have any type of sensation within this physical body, just observe that, acknowledge that, come back. This is the way to train us, to train ourselves. And peace will begin just like that. Peace always begins from within. When we be able to slow down, stop a lot of things at a time, doing just one thing at a time, peace will begin just like that. Your life will live. The world nowadays is so fast. It's spinning so big, and we are chasing after it. So the peace message of the walk of peace is for us to slow down. Take one step at a time instead of running all the time. That is how we build peace for our home and our family, and our society, our country, and the whole world. It always begins from one person. Any question for me? How many of you that follow the walk for peace? Not many. So, how do you know about the walk for peace? Come into this temple today.
My friend would be
So if you have not joined or followed the walk for peace, we have shared peace message every single day through the walk in the United States. 108 days of walking from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas to Washington, D.C. And every day we give talk about mindfulness, loving kindness, compassion, and peace. And show the way how to practice, how to stay focused. And that is why it touched millions of hearts. And that is why we travel to share the peace message. And so if you truly want to learn more about mindfulness and peace, we should take this seriously and practice. And you can also listen to all those talks online again, so that it will support you even just a little bit. That is how we work ourselves through this samsara, through this life, to gain knowledge, wisdom, and peace. And so now I'm open for questions if you have any.
As you said, the visited particular cultivation, what's the one thing common that you see among all the people? That you can say greatest God together?
In which country?
As you said, the multiple countries, what's the one thing common between different people that you can think to bring us together as one person?
We have all kinds of sufferings. Technologies are advanced now. People can reach each other within a second. But behind all those, we are very lonely. Behind all those, we are not together, even in our small family. Just imagine in that dining table, when food are served, family members are sitting together. And nowadays, each one of us will use a cell phone and talk with someone else instead of the people surround us in that table. So divisions, disconnect, all those are happening here and around us, around the world. But for all those incumbents, all people are seeking for one thing, peace. Even though in this disturbing world, but we still seeking for peace. This is the incumbent that all beings are seeking for peace. Is that right? So regardless of what religious we are practicing, which temple we go, whatever we do, but deep inside human heart, we always long for peace. That is a common thing for all beings. Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Venerable. I have a quick question about the walking, right? So you walk a lot, you promote this idea. So when I was a kid, I also did kind of privilege because we walked like 15 to 30 kilometers across China to reach especially Zhang's room. So I'm wondering because I know how they feel you when you walk, right? Your mental thought keeps you distracted by all kinds of things around the road. And we are asking the master to keep the mantra, keep citing the mantra. Like, what's your experience when you walk? What are you thinking at that time? And how do you understand this process of walking? And how do you interpret this process? And what kind of lessons you can teach? Yes, thank you.
So when we call this as a walk for peace, it means that each and every step of walking is with mindfulness. This is not just a walk to walk, but a walk to awakening. It means that every step we make, we have to be mindful with it. Because every day we are walking, every single day. We walk to the toilet, we walk to workplace, we walk to the bedroom, we walk to the living room. Everywhere we go, we have to walk. But when we walk, it's just like a robotic way, which is we are walking without any intention. When we walk, we're listening to music. When we walk, we're thinking about this and that and talking with each other and so on. That is how we walk through this life, as a habit of walking like that. But for the walk for peace, it's totally different. We walk with mindfulness means we always stay focused on our walk. Let's say if I walk With each and every step I walk with mindfulness means I know when my right feet is picking up, moving forward, down and touch. The left one picking up, moving forward, down and touch. If you be able to notice that and aware of that, that is walk with mindfulness. And myself, when I walk, I pay attention to my breath instead of everything else. So even if I walk, I still focus on my breathing method. That is how I walk, how I practice mindfulness. And then when I walk, there will be people talking, there will be people greeting. What do I do at that time? I switch my concentration from here to the person who I interact with. And I be mindful with that and then come back after I'm done with it, continue with my breathing while I walk. That's the difference with walk just to walk.
The meditation is something which doesn't only start when you get a quiet room or something somewhere quiet. It's actually just happening everywhere around it. Like you said, during walking, you are doing something else and you are then going back to breathing.
The Buddha never told us that we have to sit inside a quiet room day after day to practice like that without interact with the world. But through mindfulness means when you have an opportunity to sit inside the quiet room or in the cave or in the forest to practice on your own, but you will still hearing birds singing, wind and noise and stuff like that, right? So it can never be quiet at all times. Mindfulness breathing at the beginning for most of us, because of unmindful, because of a lot of distractions, we tend to find a peaceful place, quiet place to support us on our practicing, just to support, okay? But when you know how to practice, when you know how to live with mindfulness through noise, through sight, through eyes and nose and mouth and touching, all these five senses, then anywhere you go, you still be able to stay focused and mindful with it, right? The Buddha say sitting meditation, walking meditation, lying down meditation, standing meditation, and you are meditating while you're doing the work. So it doesn't have to be in the quiet room for us to meditate.
Increasing the mind, increasing the brain, money and power, and also the sacred places, but still there is no peace between the people around the world. Why?
Because of unmindful, because of greed, because of power, because of all those, regardless of how much you have in this world, even if you have the whole world of wealth, even if you have the whole mountain of gold, we still cannot be at peace because you need to protect those. If you have power, you need to protect that power. If you have money, gold, a lot of things like that, you need to find a way to protect all those from losing it. The more you do in it, the more you suffer. It doesn't mean that when you have all the power in this world, it doesn't mean that when you have all the money in this world, then you will be at peace. No. The more you have, and the more you are not mindful with it, you suffer even worse. How do you get those? You have to run, you have to chase after it. You have to work every single day. You have to think how you can earn more and more and more. So your mind is always overwhelmed with the way to seek for more money and wealth and all those things. This mind can never rest. While the mind can never rest, there will be no peace. But if you be able to let go of all those and then just stay silent for a moment and breathe in, knowing that you are breathing in, breathe out, knowing that you're breathing out, just stay with that present moment within your breath. That is how you practice. And we are not here to make the world become peace. If our world cannot be at peace, there will be no world peace out there. Inside of us have one world. We have our own world. This world have to be at peace first, and then move on, pass it on to the next person in our family, the next person in our family, and spread it out that way. Each and every single one of us feeling peace within ourselves, and the world slowly changes just like that to be at peace. But there can be no world peace if we are not at peace.
Venerable sir, thank you for your teachings. But just now you taught us that the world is moving very fast, and we don't have to rush like that. We have to take one step at a time. But with the technology, when humans have come so far that we have become very self-centered, cunning and selfish, how do we return back to that one step at a time? When the whole technology is making us move so fast. Thank you.
But advanced technology doesn't make us to move fast with them, along with them. It's just that we want to catch up with it. It's our own decision, wanted to catch up with it because we are afraid. If we are not catching up, we will be left behind. That is why we set ourselves to move along with the world, with the technologies. That is the wrong way of doing live, the wrong way of living in this life nowadays. Nothing wrong with technologies, but we are using technologies the wrong way. That's the difference. We are using more than what we need. Let's say if you need to make a phone call, all you need to do is just make a phone call and you'll be done with that phone call. But beside that phone call, you're always trying to seek something else on that phone, right? And then sometimes if nobody call or nobody send you text message, you will find a way to send message to the other and asking things, oh, how are you? Long time no talking, so on and so on. We are making all that up for ourselves. So we are living in the technology's world, but we are using it way over what we need. That is why we struggle. So how do we come back? Try to stay away from technologies as much as possible when you don't need it. For example, most of us, before bed, we use the phone to check on messages, check on social media, and so on, right? And then when we check on social media, we get sidetracked, distraction with all of those news and things like that. And now our mind is wandering. Our mind is full of defilements, and we cannot go to bed. That is harmful, right? So you need to translate. Should we translate for the people to understand?
They understood.
And just like that, if we know how to live the life like that, just slow down instead of chasing, right? If we be able to slow down, we will live at peace. Because of moving quick, fast, with that habit building up every single day, then that's why we suffer so much. So just know when it's enough by using the technology, knowing that when to let go of that, when to use it, when to let it go, when to have a peaceful moment for yourself. That is how we practice to come back. How many times left? How much time left? How much time left? Right, thank you so much, everyone. May you all be well, be happy, and be peaceful. Thank you for having us here today. Thank you for joining the call. Thank you.
Deep within the heart of the modern human experience, beneath the endless hum of our daily responsibilities, the glowing screens, and the frantic ticking of the clock, there is a quiet, universal yearning. We are all searching for peace. It is a longing that transcends cultural boundaries, geographical borders, and personal backgrounds. Whether we find ourselves navigating the bustling streets of a major American city or sitting in the quiet corner of a suburban living room, the desire to feel anchored, whole, and at ease remains the same. Yet, in our fast-paced, high-stakes world, this profound sense of peace often feels like a distant horizon, a beautiful destination that we hope to reach someday when the bills are paid, the children are grown, the career is secure, and the endless to-do lists are finally conquered. We treat peace as a reward for a lifetime of exhaustion. But this is the great illusion of our time. True peace is not a distant shoreline we must furiously paddle toward. It is the very water we are floating in. It is a practice, a gentle returning, available to us in this exact moment, right here and right now. To understand how to access this inherent peace, we must first look honestly at the ways we are constantly pulled away from it. Imagine, for a moment, being in a beautiful, sacred space, perhaps listening to a deeply moving teaching or witnessing a breathtaking sunset. Suddenly, an adorable puppy wanders into view. Instantly, the attention of the entire room shifts. The profound teaching fades into the background. The sunset is forgotten, and every mind becomes completely captivated by this pleasant, unexpected distraction. While there is nothing inherently wrong with appreciating the innocent joy of a wandering dog, this common scenario serves as a powerful mirror for the nature of our untrained minds. We are perpetually sidetracked. We allow our focus to be hijacked by whatever shiny, novel, or urgent object crosses our path. This tendency to wander is not limited to cute animals or pleasant surprises. Most of the time, our distractions are far less joyful. Our minds are pulled away by sudden anxieties, echoes of old arguments, worries about tomorrow's meetings, or the relentless urge to check our phones. We spend our days physically present in one location while our minds are miles away, living in a past we cannot change or a future we cannot control. This fundamental lack of mindfulness is the root of so much of our daily suffering. Because we are unmindful, we speak out of anger before we have the chance to pause. Because we are unmindful, we make reactive decisions that cause harm to ourselves and others. We move through our days on a kind of automatic pilot, reacting to stimuli rather than responding with intention. When a thought pops up during our day, we blindly follow it all the way to its logical, often anxiety-inducing conclusion, completely forgetting the reality of the present moment. We forget the simple miracle that we are alive, sitting in a room, breathing. When we begin to recognize the exhaustion of this mental wandering, we often seek out spaces of refuge. We go to places of worship, retreat centers, or quiet corners of nature, hoping to find the peace we so desperately crave. We bow our heads, fold our hands, and pray. We ask the universe, or whatever higher power we believe in, for happiness, wellness, prosperity, and the cessation of our struggles. We say to ourselves, may my family be well. May my life be easy. May I finally find some rest. There is a deep, poignant beauty in these wishes, rooted in our innate compassion and our genuine desire for goodness. But wishing alone is not enough to end our suffering. If we only ever pray for peace but do not actively cultivate the habits of peace in our daily lives, our prayers become empty echoes. It is like reading the menu at a wonderful restaurant and expecting to feel full. We ask for tranquility, yet we continue to feed the habits of a restless mind. We beg for relief from stress, but we refuse to put down the heavy burdens we are carrying. We cannot simply ask for a peaceful life. We must support our vows with our actions. We must become active participants in our own liberation from suffering. The realization that our suffering persists even when we visit beautiful temples or tranquil nature spots can be disheartening at first, but it is actually a profound awakening. It reminds us that peace cannot be handed to us by an external source. It must be grown, nurtured, and practiced from the inside out. How, then, do we bridge the gap between our deep desire for peace and the reality of our distracted, suffering minds? The answer lies in the most ordinary, overlooked miracle of our human existence, the breath. Our breathing is the ultimate anchor to the present moment. From the second we are born to the moment we pass away, the breath is a constant, faithful companion, working tirelessly to keep us alive. Yet, we rarely pay attention to it. We take it entirely for granted, lost in the labyrinth of our thoughts. But the breath only ever happens right now. You cannot breathe in the past, and you cannot breathe in the future. Therefore, when you consciously bring your awareness to the physical sensation of air entering your nostrils and leaving your body, you instantly pull your mind out of the swirling illusions of time and drop it back into the reality of the present moment. Practicing mindfulness of the breath does not require you to abandon your life, retreat to a quiet cave, or force your mind to become completely blank. The goal is not to stop thinking, which is impossible, but rather to change your relationship with your thoughts. When you are breathing in, you simply know that you are breathing in. When you are breathing out, you know that you are breathing out. When a thought inevitably arises, and it will, you do not fight it, judge it, or follow it down a rabbit hole. You simply acknowledge it. You say to yourself, thinking is happening, and then you gently, lovingly guide your attention back to the rhythm of your breath. If a loud noise startles you, you observe the sound, and you return to the breath. If an ache appears in your body, you acknowledge the sensation, and you return to the breath. This simple, continuous act of returning is the core workout of the mind. It is how we build the muscle of awareness. Over time, this practice creates a small but profound gap between a stimulus and our reaction to it. In that space, we find our freedom. If we can find just 1 second of true peace between breaths, we can stretch it to an hour, a day, and eventually, a lifetime. Yet, returning to the breath feels like a monumental task in a modern world that seems purposefully designed to distract us. We live in an era of unprecedented speed and technological advancement. The world is spinning faster than ever, and we are running as fast as we can just to keep up. We carry devices in our pockets that can connect us to anyone on the globe in a fraction of a second. We have access to infinite streams of information, entertainment, and communication. But behind the glossy screens and the constant pings of notifications, there is a quiet epidemic of profound loneliness and disconnection. We are more connected than any generation in human history. Yet we have never been more isolated from ourselves and from the people sitting right next to us. Consider the reality of the modern dinner table. Food is served, the family is gathered, but the space is filled with a haunting silence. Instead of sharing stories, looking into each other's eyes, and genuinely connecting with the human beings in our immediate presence, each person is holding a phone. We are talking to people who are miles away, scrolling through the curated lives of strangers, or checking work emails that could easily wait until tomorrow. We have allowed the digital world to fracture our physical reality. This division, this deep disconnect, is happening in homes all across the world. It is the tragic paradox of our advanced age. The very tools we built to bring us together are tearing the fabric of our closest relationships apart. Escaping this modern rat race requires immense courage. It requires the willingness to purposefully slow down in a culture that glorifies speed and exhaustion. The relentless chase for more money, more status, more followers, more productivity leaves our minds completely overwhelmed. A mind that is constantly calculating how to acquire more and protect what it already has is a mind that can never rest. And a mind that cannot rest can never know peace. We must learn to recognize when we are using technology not as a tool, but as a crutch to avoid sitting with our own discomfort. We have to practice the radical act of unplugging. We have to learn how to let the world spin without us for a little while, knowing that setting the phone down and giving our undivided attention to our breath, or to our child, or to our partner, is not a waste of time. It is the very essence of a life well lived. This concept of slowing down must translate from our minds directly into our bodies, specifically in how we move through the world. Every single day, we walk. We walk to our cars. We walk to the kitchen. We walk down the hallways of our offices. But most of the time, we move like robots. We walk with a heavy sense of utility, focused entirely on the destination, completely unconscious of the journey. While our legs are moving, our minds are miles ahead, planning the next conversation, worrying about a deadline, or listening to a podcast. We treat the act of walking as a frustrating gap in time between where we are and where we are supposed to be. But what if we transform this mundane, repetitive action into an opportunity for awakening? Mindful walking is the practice of aligning our physical movement with our mental presence. It is taking one deliberate step at a time, rather than constantly rushing forward. When you practice mindful walking, you bring your full awareness to the physical mechanics of the movement. You feel the heel of your right foot lift, move through the air, and make contact with the earth. You feel the left foot follow. You match your breath to your steps. If someone greets you, you pause, offer them your full, undivided attention, and then return to the mindful rhythm of your walk. Walking in this way changes our fundamental relationship with the earth and our environment. It forces us to stop chasing the horizon and start inhabiting the ground beneath our feet. It teaches us that peace is not found at the finish line. It is found in the quality of the steps we take to get there. As we cultivate this presence, through our breathing, through our intentional use of technology, and through our mindful walking, a profound internal revolution begins to take place. We start to realize the futility of seeking permanent security in temporary, external things. The world tells us that if we can just gather enough wealth, build a high enough wall, or secure enough power, we will finally feel safe and at peace. But the truth is the exact opposite. The more we accumulate with a fearful, grasping mind, the more we suffer, because we are constantly terrified of losing what we have gained. We become prisoners of our own possessions and ambitions. True freedom is found in the gentle release of this endless chase. This brings us to the most vital realization of all. There is no such thing as world peace without inner peace. We look at the conflicts, the divisions, and the suffering on the global stage, and we feel helpless. We want the world to change. But the world is not an abstract entity. It is a collection of individual human hearts. If our own internal world is a battlefield of unhealed wounds, chronic stress, anger, and distraction, we cannot possibly contribute peace to the world around us. We will inevitably leak our internal chaos onto our families, our coworkers, and our communities. But when we take responsibility for our own minds, when we sit in the quiet and tame the turbulent waters of our own hearts, we become a sanctuary. Peace is an inside job. It begins with one person deciding to stop running, to take a deep breath, and to respond to the world with clarity and compassion. When you find peace within yourself, you pass it to your partner. Together, you pass it to your children. Your family passes it to the neighborhood. And slowly, beautifully, the world begins to heal. In the end, the journey to a meaningful, peaceful life is astonishingly simple, though rarely easy. It does not require you to travel across the globe, read thousands of books, or become a perfect, enlightened being. It only requires your willingness to show up for your own life, exactly as it is, in this very moment. It asks you to look at the people you love without the barrier of a screen, to feel the solid earth beneath your feet as you walk, and to cherish the quiet miracle of the breath entering and leaving your body. We have been running for so long, looking for happiness everywhere but right here. It is time to stop. Take a breath. Let go of the heavy burdens of the past and the anxieties of the future. The peace you have been searching for your entire life is waiting for you, patiently, in the beautiful, unfolding reality of the present moment. Step into it.